welcome to Business Growth School for Service Providers podcast. I'm your host Ali Salman, and this podcast is brought to you by Rapid Boost Marketing, online marketing for service providers. Are you a dentist, realtor, lawyer, accountant? Do you provide services locally? Then this podcast is for you. Here we share strategies, tricks, and techniques on how to generate more leads and sales using online marketing. Join us every day for 5 minutes and take away strategies which you can apply in your business.
So last year, me and few of my friends, we went to Mexico, and one night we found this amazing super highly rated restaurant on TripAdvisor, on Yelp and Google, right? And we were looking forward to it. We got dressed up. We were it's a fine dining restaurant, so we made sure that we look amazing, and we showed up. Guess what happened? The restaurant was closed. It was a complete bummer, wasted our night, right? And we were disappointed. A lot of business owners get similarly they get disappointed when they sit down with a prospect. They go through the whole meeting and they're about to they're at the finish line to close the deal, to sell them on a product, and guess what happens? That business owner says, or that person says, the price is too high. They give you a pricing objection. A lot of us, we get pricing objections all the time, and the natural way a lot of us react to it is we get defensive. That's either we do that, or what we do is right away we go for a discount. And let me tell you that if you discount your product or a service right away, if someone gives you a pricing objection, that's the worst thing you can do to your product or a service, because that devalues you right there and then. So how can we deal with that, right? Let's talk about that. Now, before I get into it, there could be two other possibilities. One possibility could be the timeliness. Example, that the product, when you are selling them the product or a service, that's not the right time for them. Either they bought the product or a service few months ago. Either they don't have money at that point in time. It's not about that they don't see value in your product. They don't have money at that point in time to buy that product or a service. Now, your company can offer financing plans. Your company can offer buy now, pay after 60 days, buy now, pay after 90 days. Think about creative financing and how can you basically provide that person some sort of payment plan or a financing plan, because the problem is not about price, the problem is about time. Now, there could be another reason that they are not buying it from you. It could be that purely based on you're selling it to the wrong guy. Example, that person is looking for a car under less than $20,000, and you are a Porsche dealership who's trying to convince your second-hand cars start at $50,000. So it's a complete mismatch. It's you're trying to sell someone a product where they are looking for a cheap product and you are an expensive or a luxury brand out there. It's a complete misfit. So you let that person customer go. You don't serve them because your product or service is not a good fit for them. But let's imagine that time is not the problem. Your product or service is actually a good fit for them. Now what? Always the first thing when person puts on a pricing objection, you ask them a question. Sir, compared to what? Because it could be that your prospect is not clear on what they are getting. Your prospect is comparing you to some other product or a service, and where your product or service could be here, and where you are getting compared is right here. So always ask this question, that what are you getting compared to? Because you know what? You cannot compare apples against oranges. We have to compare apples against apples. Another way to deal with a pricing objection is the famous Zig Ziglar says, right? Tell them straight up that, you know what, sir, if I offer you cheap product or a service, I'm cutting the corner somewhere. And to avoid your unhappiness, to avoid your discomfort and dissatisfaction in the long run, right now, I'll charge you more. My service or my product is not cheap in the market, but the ones which are cheap, they're cutting the corners. So right away, it's a loss aversion technique that you apply and say, hey, if you're gonna basically ask for a discount, we have to cut some sort of a corner somewhere. So it's better that like what you're paying is you're getting a good service and a good product, right? Because those cheap guys out there, they are cutting the corners one way or other, because that's not possible that they can offer a comparable product or a service for much cheaper price. So make sure that when your customer gives the price objection, say yes, like that company A, B, and C, who's our competitor, they are doing it for $100 less, but these are the three things which they don't offer, which we offer in our service. So right away you tell them that something cheap is not equal to what you have to offer. Something cheap means that like something is missing from their delivery. Last thing is that like we all love to buy. We don't like to be sold. If you have qualified the prospect properly, if they need your product or a service and price is not the objection, the best thing you can do is walk away from that deal, because walking away calls their bluff, because this will tell them that you don't want to sell it to them. If they want to buy, you are the right fit for them. So make sure that if you have built the value right away, you have highlighted all the points, right, then walk away from that deal. Don't try to sell it to them. Let them make a decision that they want to buy or not, and that will call the bluff right out there and then. Because if you were not a good fit in the first place, you will not get a call back. But if you have done your job properly, and if they are a good fit, then you will get a call back. And basically, like, walking away actually benefits rather than pushing them to the corner and making them believe that you really want to push this decision down their throat, but rather let them make the
Hey, thank you so much for joining me today. If you want to listen to previous episodes, go to rapidboostmarketing.com/grow. Again, I'll repeat that, rapidboostmarketing.com/grow. I'll catch you tomorrow bright and early with another business growth lesson. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.